Hi, Deborah. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you on board and as backing one of our dragons backing
Me
Seep.
too.
Oh
Me
my gosh,
too.
it's really dreamy. We're going to be talking a little bit about how cleaning makes you feel, and a little bit about sort of behind the scenes in your house and how you do things in the Meaden household. So just to start off with, how do you feel about cleaning? Do you love it or loathe it?
Kind of both. Sort of the everyday cleaning thing, I'm really not into at all. It's kind of repetitious and boring, and nothing's really dirty,
Yeah.
So I like the really dirty. It's something
Yeah.
that you look at and you think, oh, I could really get into that. So that's the love it bit for me. The bit where you see something that really does
awful.
me, really awful.
So what counts as really awful?
Well, it could be silver, or it could be somewhere in your bathroom where in the corner it's just gone all discoloured or so I've got a really gorgeous. It was used on the James Bond.
Wow!
It was used on one of the sets, and it's sort of this lovely leather chair. You Only Live Twice, and it needs leather. It needs a good old polish up and a clean, and that type of thing I love. Sort of project cleaning. That's what I like. Project cleaning.
So who does the everyday, not very exciting cleaning?
Lou. The very lovely Lou has been with us for years, who I trust with my life, and who so she keeps on top of everything. And then every now and then I get really annoying because I'll be like, I've got to clean the fridge out. Literally the toothbrush comes out. It is just cleaned within an inch of its life.
And how does it? So, sort of, lots of people see cleaning as a bit of a therapy. It helps them when they're feeling a bit overwhelmed. I mean, how does it make you feel when you're doing one of those, really awful fridge? How do you do?
I kind of don't feel. It's not that I feel overwhelmed. It doesn't release any tension for me. I just feel satisfied because I think it's partly because if you think about what I do. I don't often get a day where I start something and I see the end result because I'm working with businesses, so it's all very, very long term.
Yeah.
Or I'll be talking about the environment, and that's really long term. What cleaning does, it says, right, you're going to start with that dirty thing, you're going to end up with a clean thing, and that's very satisfying for me. So yes, I don't think it's about tension, but it does feel like, I can actually see what I've done. I like mucking out horses' stables for the same reason.
To say, and you've got dogs at home, so do they? Have you got sort of lots of muddy floors and that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, your standards change completely when you've got 4 dogs, 2 cats, and horses and dogs and whatever. So yes, we do have, and I'm constantly wearing dog hair. I'd be amazed if I haven't got a dog hair on me now.
I mean, it's lovely. It means you get to take a bit of your dog with you.
And also though, I'm not an over cleaner. I think we can be a little bit too sterile.
Yeah.
So I'd rather use, I'd rather use elbow grease than chuck a load of. Well, I won't chuck chemicals and stuff, So that kind of satisfies that part of me as well. It says actually on a fridge, white vinegar and a lot of elbow grease and a toothbrush, as opposed to saying, well, actually, I'll use the latest
bleach or the latest really strongly smelling thing.
Exactly.
And so, anything that you find like one of your most hated chores?
Washing up. Or drying up. In fact, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Things just stay in the dishwasher until they get clean. I mean, that's it. And if they break, then they've broken. But I absolutely will not wash up. Will not wash up.
And so you're one of these people that believes in the power of a soak. And so you just leave it in the sink
until it rises to the top,
and someone else will hopefully But I think it's also something that it just requires a bit less elbow grease, right, when you soak it up.
Well, that's why I do it, obviously. And I hate washing up.
That's brilliant. And so you talked a little bit about loving a toothbrush, which I love using toothbrushes because they're obviously a lot of them are kind of plastic and. Once you've used them, then the only thing you can do really is chuck them. But endless. Are there any other kind of eco cleaning hacks, that you want to share with people?
Well, things like white wine vinegar, for cleaning any kind of glass. So you don't have to buy this really expensive window cleaner, and just a little bit of white wine vinegar in a mixed with water, and it's brilliant. It's anti-mold. I'll certainly do that. I've actually been known to make my own soap.
Wow. How do you make your own soap?
Well, actually, interesting. Soap isn't that environmentally friendly anyway, because you've got to use this boracic acid, which is quite quite nasty in itself. But
and would you do it again? Was it a labour of love, but never?
It was one of those things that I thought, it sounds like a good idea. It's the same as the candle making I did. It's like, never going to happen again.
You've seen this great idea on TikTok, and then and then have you got any kind of dirty secrets? I guess so. Like one of those drawers or one of the rooms that you just chuck everything in and.
I'm sure I have got a lot of those. I'm actually, as I say, I'm not an over clean person. And if I drop food on the floor, it's the 30-second rule. I'm quite happy to pick it up and eat it.
And actually, with dogs in the house, you don't need to worry anyway.
Well, that's true. The dogs. It's a bit of a race, actually, who gets to the food, the dogs or me. So yeah, I am not over clean, but we are very, very conscious about what we use in a house. Now that's for environmental reasons. Yeah. But for health reasons, there is clearly, if you can't drink bleach, it's probably not a good idea to put it all over a load of stuff. To be putting it everywhere, and breathing it in and all of those things. So I think, for lots of reasons, we're pretty careful. Dirty little secrets. What have I got? I don't know. No.
You've probably got like a tack room and that sort of thing where you can put things away or hide things away. And actually, you know what, I always think if something's super, super clean and immaculate, it stresses me out.
Absolutely. So my mother was one of those. If I stood up now, the cushion would be plump before I'd actually stood up. I think I'm a bit of a reaction against that. So I just think home should be comfortable with a good level. It's got to be clean. It just doesn't have to be spotless.
It doesn't have to be spotless. I think that's very much Seep's ethos is that, yes, we share sort of cleaning hacks and that sort of thing. But actually, if, you don't need to be immaculate. It's whatever goes. And so you invested in us very sort of a few months ago. We were on Dragon's Den. I'm really interested, like what sort of was it about Seep and our mission that appealed?
Well, I was already buying sort of odds and ends here whenever I could find them of eco alternatives to the stuff that you would normally find in your everyday house. And when you actually presented a range in a cohesive way that meant I could buy into a brand instead of looking for, I need to find something that does that, I need to find something that does that. And also your description of sort of disrupting the market to say, actually, this is a proper brand, this is a proper alternative at a price that people will pay for. Yeah. It was just, and you meant it, and that matters to me. I think, you stand much greater chance of success in a business if you genuinely feel your business. If you genuinely want, because business is tough. It's tough. Yeah. It's brutal. And there's times when if you don't love it, where you just think, why am I doing this? But I just know that if you get those moments, you'll know why you're doing it because you care about why you're doing it. And that's really important. And that's a business thing. That's not just sort of an airy bet. That's a real business thing. It helps get you through those tough moments and helps you make the right decisions. Yeah.
And I have to say, like, having other people that can see that and who have the same set of beliefs as you to back, what we're trying to do makes a huge, I always say that was the moment when I realized, actually someone else, and it's not just someone else, it's Deborah, it's Deborah Meaden and Trini believe in what I'm doing. And it was a real sort of moment. So that was really, you match made in heaven. Exactly. Are there any big chores you've got that sort of on your list of things to do over the next couple of months?
So I have in the house, we've got a 1 in, 1 out policy. So that started with clothes, shoes, handbags. But it's actually also started with the house, because it's very easy just to buy things. Yep. Oh, that's a good idea. So we always go through, and decluttering is the thing. I did it last weekend, been through my wardrobe, thinking, well, look, I haven't worn that for 3 years. Why am I keeping it? Yep. And isn't it better to be on somebody else's back to stop them buying new products? Yep. So we are right in the middle of a declutter. But that goes through everything. That does go through to the horses. It does go through their rugs and what can we use and what we can't use and what can we mend and all of those things. And I think, I don't know, but the minute the sun comes out, there's a switch in you, isn't it?
It's kind of like new gear, fresh. Isn't it? Exactly. And then when you do, so you've discovered our range now. Have you got any sort of specific favourites that you've loved using? So
your copper scourer is brilliant for, we've got a little milk frother.
No, no.
and it fits in our milk frother absolutely brilliantly, because if you don't clean those out properly, you end up getting sort of gooey, gunky stuff in the bottom. So that's absolutely brilliant. So we like that.
Shall I give you a little tip for when it all kind of starts looking a bit tatty? Well, you can endlessly recycle it because it's copper, but you can also pull them out into long bits and put them around pots, and it protects the plants from
slugs and snails.
Yeah, isn't that brilliant?
That is brilliant.
Yeah. So that was a little tip.
Paul, right, I don't know why, but I said to him, "How are you getting on with Seep?" As my husband, "How are you getting on with Seep?" And he loves, I mean, he's like a child. He loves the sponges that arrive really flat, and then they.
And they just pop up.
They just pop up. Not for any practical reason. I think he just likes the fact that they come like this and they end up popping up. So
I'm just going to ask you a few more sort of quick fire questions. If you had to clean the toilet or empty the bins, which one would you rather?
Empty the bins.
Do you prefer washing up or drying up?
Drying up.
And what's your favourite cleaning spray to use? Is it always homemade, or do you sometimes use other brands?
No, we will use we use Method, and Ecova. We use Ecova for washing powder, dishwashing tabs. Method we tend to use more for the cleaning surfaces. Cleaning surfaces. But we do and lemon and water.
I know, we love lemons are just magic.
Lovely smell as well. They are magic. So it's very satisfying just making your own stuff and thinking it's a lot cheaper as well.
It's a lot cheaper, and it's basically what people used to do years and years ago, right? So but that's brilliant. Well, those are all my questions. So thank you for sharing some of your cleaning tips and how you like to clean. And it sounds like it's you're somewhere in between, so you don't hate it.
I do hate it, and I do love it.
You do love it, exactly. So thank you so much, Deborah, and thrilled to have you.
I don't think I've ever spent so long talking about cleaning.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.